The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. What if I told you that the most feared servant of Sauron, the Witch King of Angmar, was not originally evil at all, but was once a noble king of men? The truth of his corruption is far more terrifying than most realize. Welcome, travelers of Middle-earth, to another journey through the hidden histories of Tolkien's realm. I am your guide through the mists of time, and tonight we uncover the shocking origins of the Ringwraiths, the 9 who fell to darkness. Before we delve into their shadowy past, let me promise you 3 revelations that may change how you view the Lord of the Rings forever. The secret identity of the Witch King before his fall, the true reason no man could kill him, beyond the prophecy you know, and the hidden power of the 9 rings that Tolkien himself only hinted at in his most obscure writings. But first, a question that challenges everything we thought we knew. Were the Ringwraiths truly evil? Or were they the greatest victims in all of Middle-earth's history? The answer, my friends, lies in ancient texts and forgotten passages that reveal a tale of seduction, betrayal, and the terrible price of immortality. The story of the Nazgul begins not with darkness, but with light. In the Second Age of Middle-earth, when the realms of elves and men flourished under fair skies, Sauron came in disguise to the elven smiths of a region. "I am Anatar," he proclaimed, "Lord of Gifts," and many believed him. Under his tutelage, the great elven smith Celebrimbor forged rings of power, 9 for mortal men, 7 for the dwarf lords, and 3 for the elven kings. But secretly, in the fires of Mount Doom, Sauron forged the one ring to rule them all. Now here's where things get interesting, and what few casual viewers understand. The 9 rings given to men were not bestowed upon random kings. Sauron selected his targets with cunning precision, choosing rulers from different realms of men. 3 were great lords of Numenor, the mightiest kingdom of men. 3 were rulers from the eastern lands beyond Rhûn. And 3 were kings of proud realms in Middle-earth itself. The rings granted them tremendous power, the ability to command others, to amass wealth and territory, and most seductively of all, to extend their lives far beyond natural limits. But as a wise elven lord once said, the rings give power according to the measure of each possessor. And herein lies the tragedy that few understand. Let us trace the journey of these 9 across the map of Middle-earth, from their kingdoms of origin to their final doom in the shadow realm of wraiths. If you've enjoyed exploring these hidden realms of Tolkien's world with us, consider joining our fellowship by subscribing. Our community of Tolkien enthusiasts journeys together through these tales, uncovering secrets that casual viewers miss entirely. Join us and never miss when we illuminate another dark corner of Middle-earth. Now, imagine receiving one of the 9 rings. At first, everything seems wondrous. Your strength grows. Your enemies fall before you. The years pass, yet you remain vigorous while others age and wither. But then, the shadow falls. The transformation from mortal king to Ringwraith was not instant, but a cruel, gradual process that unfolded over decades, even centuries. This is the horror that Tolkien embedded in his mythology, but rarely spoke of directly. First came the extending of life, a gift that seemed blessed. Then came the accumulation of power, addictive and intoxicating. Next, paranoia crept in, whispering voices, suspicion of betrayal. Soon after, isolation, as the ring-bearer withdrew from those he once loved. Finally, the physical fading began, becoming thin, stretched, until they vanished from mortal sight altogether. Yet they did not die. They could not die. Trapped between worlds, they became the Ringwraiths, servants bound eternally to Sauron's will. Did you know that Tolkien wrote in a private letter that the Ringwraiths represented his fear of prolonging life artificially? This was influenced by his experiences in World War I, where he witnessed technology extending suffering rather than preserving life's quality. The Nazgul are his warning against clinging to life beyond its natural term. Among the nine, one rose to terrible prominence, the Witch King of Angmar, Lord of the Nazgul. But who was he before his fall? While Tolkien never explicitly named him, hidden clues in the text suggest something shocking. The Witch King was likely a Númenórean prince of the royal line, possibly even related to Elendil himself. Consider this evidence that casual readers miss entirely. The Witch King possessed knowledge of sorcery uncommon among men. He demonstrated tactical brilliance in warfare spanning thousands of years. His authority was recognized even by the other Nazgul, themselves once mighty kings. And most tellingly, his particular hatred for the kingdom of Arnor, which he systematically destroyed over centuries. This wasn't random malice, it was personal. The Witch King sought to eradicate the very bloodline he may once have belonged to. After Sauron's defeat by the last alliance, the Witch King did not remain idle. In the year 1300 of the Third Age, he established the kingdom of Angmar in the far north, a realm created for one purpose only, to destroy the fractured northern kingdom of Arnor. For nearly 700 years, he waged this campaign of hatred, culminating in the fall of Fornost in 1974. 7 centuries of patient malice, a testament to the immortal nature of his vengeance. Imagine the horror of the defenders as the Witch King approached the gates, a towering figure in black, crowned with a helm no living man could see, mounted upon a steed born of shadow. The very air around him poisoned with the black breath, causing despair and death. It was after the fall of Fornost that something remarkable occurred, something that would echo through the ages to the final battle on the Pelennor fields. The elf lord Glorfindel, having defeated the Witch King in battle, spoke these prophetic words: "Far off yet is his doom, and not by the hand of man shall he fall." This prophecy has been misunderstood by many. It wasn't merely that a woman or hobbit would kill him. It was that his doom was woven into the very fabric of fate itself. The Witch King, for all his power, could not escape the doom appointed to him. If you're finding these deeper insights into Middle-earth's history valuable, joining our fellowship of subscribers ensures you'll receive each new chapter in our ongoing exploration. Our community delves deeper than casual viewers ever could, uncovering the hidden meanings in Tolkien's world. Now, let me reveal something few have considered about the Witch King's terrible arsenal: the Morgul Blade, a weapon not merely designed to kill, but to transform its victims into lesser wraiths bound to the Witch King's will. This was the fate nearly suffered by Frodo at Weathertop. The Black Breath, a miasma of despair that accompanied the Nazgul, causing what the healers of Gondor called the Black Shadow, a sickness of the spirit that could only be cured by the hands of the king. And his crowning weapon, fear itself. The Witch King wielded terror as his greatest tool, breaking the will of his enemies before battle was even joined. Here's a revelation that changes everything. The Witch King's power waxed and waned with Sauron's. During the long years when Sauron was weakened, the Witch King was also diminished. But as the One Ring awakened and Sauron regained his strength, the Lord of the Nazgul grew to the height of his power, which is why he was so formidable during the War of the Ring. The culmination of the Witch King's malice came during the siege of Minas Tirith. Leading Sauron's vast armies, he approached the White City with a singular purpose: to end the line of kings forever, just as he had done in the north. What many don't realize is that the Witch King had already achieved this once before. In the year 2050 of the Third Age, he challenged King Eomer of Gondor to single combat. The proud king rode to Minas Morgul and was never seen again, thus ending the line of kings in Gondor until Aragorn's return. At the gates of Minas Tirith, the Witch King revealed the fullness of his power. With a word, he shattered the gates that had stood for thousands of years. With his presence alone, he drove defenders mad with fear. And yet, for all his might, he could not escape the doom appointed to him. On the fields of Pelennor, he encountered a shield maiden of Rohan, Eowyn, niece of King Theoden and a hobbit, named Meriadoc Brandybuck. When the Witch King boasted that no man could kill him, Eowyn revealed herself with the immortal words, "I am no man," and with the help of Merry, whose barrow blade was forged specifically against the Witch King's realm of Angmar ages ago, she fulfilled the prophecy that had awaited him for over 1,000 years. What became of the Witch King after his fall? Tolkien tells us that when the One Ring was destroyed, the 9 rings lost their power, and the Ringwraiths were utterly unmade. But consider this final, haunting question. Was there a moment, just a moment, when the Witch King was freed from Sauron's dominion? Did the noble king he once was resurface in his final moments, perhaps feeling relief as 1,000 years of enslavement ended? We will never know. But this is the true tragedy of the Nazgul. They were not born as monsters. They were men who desired power, yes, but also longevity, security, and greatness for their realms. They were seduced, enslaved, and ultimately destroyed by gifts that were actually chains. The tale of the Witch King teaches us what Tolkien believed most deeply, that the desire for power and immortality leads not to greatness, but to a half-life of enslavement. True courage, as shown by Eowyn and Merry, lies in facing darkness without such crutches, armed only with valor and hope. Now I turn to you, my fellow travelers through Middle-earth. Who do you believe the Witch King was before his fall? Was he truly of Númenórean royalty, or perhaps a sorcerer king from another realm entirely? Share your theories in the comments below, and let us continue this exploration together. If you enjoyed this journey into the shadows of Middle-earth, join our fellowship by subscribing. Our next tale will uncover the 9 rings of power, origins, recipients, and their tragic transformations, where we'll reveal the identities and individual stories of each Ringwraith before their fall. Until our paths cross again, remember the words of Galadriel: even the smallest person can change the course of the future.